In this tutorial, you will learn how to create a fantasy castle under 10 minutes in Blender. It will be easier for you to follow if you already are familiar with Blender basics. Before starting, turn on the Move gizmo and clear everything from the viewport. Then, add a mesh circle with 8 number of vertices. Ctrl+2 to add subdivision modifier to it. Fill the circle in edit mode. Now extrude it up and scale down a bit. Introduce an edge loop to control the roundness at the top. Now select one of the edge loop, duplicate, and move down. Scale that up and separate. In the edit mode of the new model, F to fill the circle. Extrude up a bit and select top and bottom faces. Inset them and bridge edge loops. Now select one of the edge ring. Press Shift+G and then length to select all the edge loop of the same length. Bevel these edge loops. Now select the top face loop. And use checker deselect to deselect every alternate face. Inset, extrude, and delete the faces. Now add mirror modifier to it, with axis set to Z. Turn on clipping option so the vertices don't cross each other. Add edge loops to control the roundness. Apply the mirror modifier, and then bevel the middle edge loops, instead of adding new support loops. Now duplicate these two objects, and move them up. Scale down both of them. Then scale up the top vertices. And then remove the middle edge loops by selecting Dissolve Edges. Now with 3D cursor placed at the center, add a new mesh cylinder. Scale down the whole object, and then scale down the top vertices. Place the 3D cursor on the top, and add another circle with 8 vertices. Scale down, and fill it up. Now use Extrude and Scale tool to create finial-like shape. Back in object mode, Ctrl+2 to add subsurf modifier. Add support loops to sharpen the edges. Now duplicate the top building and place it to the bottom side. Move up the roof parts. And then bring up the top vertices of the cylinder. Duplicate the base cylinder and place it above the old one. Move down its top vertices. Duplicate this cylinder and scale down the copy. Place the 3D cursor here and add a mesh cube. Add subsurf modifier and scale it down. Add one vertical loop and move up the top central edge. Now inset the front faces and extrude them inwards. Introduce edge loops to control the shape better. Scale down the whole object on Y-axis. Now duplicate the object and place it on the big tower. Repeat the step for the base tower as well. Now select a cylinder from the side tower and bring the cursor to selection. Then set the pivot point to 3D cursor and rotate the window on Z. And duplicate the window. Now select all the objects on the side tower, with base selected at last. Make that the parent. Duplicate and scale down. Then bring the top vertices down, and then the top objects down. Move the smaller tower to front. Then rotate the tower at the back. Now select both the towers, duplicate, and move them to the opposite side. Now add a camera to the scene. Find a good angle and align the camera to the view. Press G to move the camera and middle click to zoom in or out. Now split the viewport and hide all the unnecessary tools and gizmo from the first viewport. And change it to rendered view. Then in the render properties, set the render engine to cycles. Press Ctrl+B to drag over the tower, so Blender renders that region only. Then set device to GPU. For scene lighting, go to World Properties and select Environment Texture. Load an HDRI. Change the second viewport to Shader Editor. And change the shader type to World. Click the Node menu in the sidebar. And in the texture mapping, you can use Rotation field to change the direction of the light source. Now add materials to the objects. For non-metal objects, I turn the roughness all the way up to 1. And for the metal object, metallic to 1, and roughness around 0.3. In the render properties, under color management, set the view to standard. And look to high contrast. For the roof, we'll use an image texture. Switch to the shading workspace from above. And make sure you enable the Node Wrangler add-on in the preferences. Now select the principled BSDF node and press Ctrl-Shift and T. Select the textures you downloaded and load them in. In the mapping node, you can change the size of the texture. For me, the default one is working fine. To change the color of the texture, go to Add and Add Color Ramp node. And drop it between the base color and principled BSDF node. Right now it's black and white. Change that to a darker orange and a lighter one. Then to further change the brightness of the texture, add a hue saturation node. And drop it between color ramp and principled BSDF node. Lower down the value. Keep the hue and saturation to as it is. Now back in Layout workspace, copy the roof material to the other roofs. For the background, bring up the Add menu and select Images as Plane. And load a cloud image. Scale up the image. And maybe rotate a bit. Now to change color of the sky, switch to Shading workspace. And drop a hue saturation node in between. Changing the hue to 0.3 gives me that aqua green kind of color. To add life to the scene, let's create a super realistic bird. Add Subsurf modifier to the added plane. Scale it down, and then scale up a bit on X-axis. Add one horizontal loop, and scale that up. Then one vertical loop, and scale that down. Bevel that loop. Now A to select all, and extrude them up. Select the middle vertices, and bring that down a bit. Give it a black material. Now make some copies, and R to rotate them. We don't need the shadows, so make the image bigger, or move it away from the birds. Before rendering the image, lower down the render samples. And make sure denoise is turned on. Also do save the project. Then once all done, render the image, save the image, and share it to the world. If you like this result, it will mean a lot if you also leave a like down below and comment something. That will help this channel to grow.